Ohio State won the toss. Deferred. Michigan will receive. Sharon Moore won this game last year, subbing for Jim Harbaugh. However, he went into the season without having the opportunity to pick his own quarterback. It's cost him, but they did become bowl eligible last week with their 50-6 win over Northwestern. Oh, by the way, he got his quarterback last week, and the kid was right around the corner. We'll talk about that as this game progresses. Ohio State, Michigan, the game, and here we go. This one into the end zone, and they'll bring it out. Jordan Marshall, and Marshall gets to the 10-yard line. Warren out of the shotgun, and he'll hand it off on first down, running straight ahead. Kalel Mullings between the tackles offensively. 2nd down and 7 at the 14-yard line for Michigan. Mullings, 3 touchdowns last week against Northwestern, tries to run over the right side. Bottled up. 3rd down and 5 at the 16. Opening series for Michigan. Mullings remains in the game. Tyler Morris in motion. Warren steps up in the pocket, delivers across the middle, and he completes his first pass. 1st down at the 30. Here's a handoff. Mullings again. 2nd down and 6 at the 34-yard line. Mullings, the pistol back. And they'll give it to him straight ahead. Chops his feet. Goes down after. 3rd down and 4 at the 36 for Michigan. Warren to throw it. Warren underneath. Caught. And we'll see if that's enough for 1st down. Catch made by Merlin Klein, the redshirt sophomore. Will send Tommy Doman onto the field. He'll punt it from the 22-yard line. Low snap, handled. He got it away. Caleb Downs, who ran one back last week against Indiana, is the deep man, and this one will trickle out of bounds.
Would be controlling their own destiny, and if Penn State were to lose, Indiana would get back in the mix and go to Indianapolis.
On 1st down, Will Howard throwing it out wide, and it's caught. This is Carnell Tate with the reception. He'll gain 7.5, maybe 8. Will Howard, the Kansas State transfer, making his 39th start. He's had a spectacular season.
I think quietly one of the best seasons in all of college football.
Howard to throw it over the middle, caught, and a 1st down for the Buckeyes. Carnell Tate, back-to-back receptions. 1st down and 10 at the 48-yard line. Travion Henderson running left, cuts it up, and he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Garrett Moore with the tackle defensively for the Wolves.
Gus is out of position on the outside playing corner.
2nd down and 10. Howard guns it near side, caught out of bounds. Money on the rise. Jeremiah Smith with the catch.
Look at the cushion that these corners are playing with, giving these easy free throws to the Ohio State passing game. That is way too easy for Howard and Jeremiah Smith, just short of a 1st down. But you're starting to see now 3 of the first 4 plays, just easy pitch and catch on the outside. And now they bring up a shorter 3rd down scenario here to try to convert.
Jeremiah Smith has led Ohio State in receiving 7 times this year. Has 3 100-yard games. He's only a freshman. 3rd down and 2 at the 44 for the Buckeyes. Quinshon Judkins in the game. Howard looking, Howard rolling on the move, caught at the 30-yard line. Guess who? Carnell Tate. 1st down to the 31. Henderson, the lone setback. Play fake. Howard goes deep. He's got a man. Incomplete, but a flag. Jeremiah Smith, the target.
Pass interference. Defense number 28. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. 1st down.
Larry Smith, your referee.
Well, Quinn Johnson is beat right here, and Jeremiah Smith is going to catch that ball unless Johnson grabs him. It's actually a good penalty from him because that's going to be 6. Smith is too talented, in particular in those one-on-one situations right there. And then there's the grab of the arm, brings him down, and it's a 1st down.
1st down and 10 at the 16 now for the Buckeyes. Henderson, the pistol back. They give it to Travion Henderson. Stutter steps, gets to the line of scrimmage, and is driven backwards. Howard gives it up. Henderson breaks it back with a crease at the 11. Opening series for Ohio State. Ibuka in motion. Howard to throw it. Howard underneath, incomplete, batted down. Jaden Fielding coming in to attempt the 29-yarder. Got it up, and Ohio State is on the board first.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
On 4th and 1. Out of the I formation, two tight ends. Straight ahead. I don't know. Ohio State looks like they turned him away. Buckeyes have been great on goal line stands this year. This one looks close.
Nobody better in college football when you're talking about defense inside the 5-yard line.
And it's Ohio State football. They do it again.
Great push from the defensive line. Look at him get low. And then there's the fill. Caleb Downs, number 2 from that safety spot. He comes up and makes the hit along with Tyleek Williams. There's 91 and number 2. Mullings needed to get all the way to the 2-yard line, clearly short right there, and it is another stand for Ohio State. Now, that wasn't 4th and goal, but Gus, you talk about goal-to-go situations. Nobody in college football has been better.
Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons at Ole Miss last couple of years. They'll give it to him, and he is gobbled up immediately. 2nd down and 10 at the 3. And Howard this time.
This is where they've got to get pressure, is right up the middle in the face of Will Howard.
3rd down and 9 at the 4. Howard throwing out of his own end zone. And it's picked up down the sideline. Michigan has it inside the 5. Hall with the pick. And the Wolverines force the first turnover of the game.
Parnell Tate is on the outside, and he's working against Amir Hall, who is just sitting there. He's just playing tight coverage, sitting on that short route, and it feels very similar to that mistake Will Howard made early in the Penn State game when he threw a pick 6. So you can see Hall just stayed in bounds after getting that pick. Tate a little slow out of his break. Hall sitting on the route, and now it's 1st down Michigan.
Hall, a senior from Baltimore, Maryland, Richmond transfer. Michigan will have the football. Power formation. Mullings, the deep man, they give it to him straight ahead. And he will not get in. He'll get inside the 1. Cody Simon, Caden McDonald combining on the tackle.
I tell you, we've done a lot of these Ohio State games, and these teams just continue to try to run at the middle of that defense. They've got 6 defensive linemen, down linemen in there in these goal line situations, and it is very difficult to score against them. Only 47% touchdown percentage in goal-to-go defense. That's the best in college football.
2nd down and goal at the 1. Power formation again. Mullings. Touchdown, Wolverines. Michigan capitalizing off the Will Howard interception to take a 6-3 lead on the road here in Columbus. Savannah, extra point, good.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Jaden Fielding, 1 for 1 last week against Indiana, a 45-yarder. He's kicked a 29-yarder already, and this one, a 38-yarder, wide right. Kalel Mullings, the pistol back. They'll give it to him, straight ahead, stutter step, gets through the hole. And Mullings. Mullings again. Ohio State. Underneath, incomplete, and Ohio State will get the ball back. Standing at the 11, Caleb Downs, a deep man. He's dangerous. Line drive, end over end kick. Over the head of Downs. And it will roll inside the Ohio State 10. Travion Henderson in the game at running back. They'll give it to him. Henderson.
Didn't set. Look at all these Michigan players at or near the line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 8. Howard hit as he throws, incomplete. 3rd down and 8 at the 9. Howard hands it off, nowhere to go. Another tackle for a loss, and the fans don't like it. Wow. 8 yards deep in his own end zone. Tyler Morris is the deep man at midfield. Morris comes up. Not a very good punt, and he'll have it at the 39-yard line. Cole, 1st and 10 at the 39. Edwards picks his way forward. For Davis Warren, the walk-on quarterback leading the way. Edwards, nothing. Edwards in motion. They'll give it to him, running right, turns a corner. And Edwards gets chopped down right at the line of scrimmage against Northwestern. Got it away. Zavada again. Wow. I talked to Sharon Moore on the phone earlier this week on Monday. He said after that Northwestern game, he said, we found something. Both offensively, defensively, and in special teams. Now let's go to Rob Stone. Doesn't matter. 1st and 10 of the 25. Howard under pressure. Lost it up in the air. Deflected and incomplete. Howard. Near side. Caught. And out of bounds. Howard. Over the middle. Caught. Abuka. Money. Quickly to the line of scrimmage. Not a good snap. Howard just throws this one out of bounds. Will Howard. Over the middle. Caught. Close to 1st down. Jeremiah Smith. Again. Donovan Edwards, the Michigan running back, on the sideline. Jersey off. 3rd down and short. Underneath, 1st down, Ohio State. Parnell Tate.
You see how different this passing game looks when they're spread out like this. Spreading out this defense is where you can find the advantage.
1st down, Howard. Quick tempo now for Ohio State. Tate again. Parnell Tate, what a wonderful story. This young man lost his mother prior to his freshman year. She was murdered in a drive-by shooting in Chicago, but he continues to thrive. Howard hands it off. Henderson. A gain of 2.
Well, you can see on this series and plenty more before it how much better this Ohio State offense is when they're operating in space. As the clock is ticking now under 45 seconds, look how wide the splits are from the wide receivers.
2nd down and 8. Howard pump fake, goes up top. Incomplete, and pass interference coming up. Jeremiah Smith. Jair Hill.
Pass interference.
With the penalty.
Defense number 35. 15-yard penalty, automatic. 1st down.
Well, this ball is severely inside, and so that's why Smith is trying to get back and adjust his route towards the inside of the field, and Hill just basically holds him there and doesn't allow him to come back to that football.
Level this game if they can score. Howard in the end zone. Touchdown! Money on the rise. Jeremiah Smith. This game is tied. 10 up. As we start the 2nd half from Columbus. Travion Henderson, the deep man. And he'll start from his own goal line. And Judkins, the running back, in the end zone. They'll give it to him straight ahead. Out Not a lot. Second down and 8 at the 7. Henderson. A yard, maybe 2.
He's normally a guard, but he's done it fairly well.
Third down and 5 at the 10. Howard. Surveying over the middle. First down, Ohio State. Howard throwing on first down. Underneath again and another first down. Carnell Tate at the 32. Howard.
Both in a physical inspection under the tent and the video evidence. He's back on the field, but taking another hit there.
Second down and 7. That ball deflected at the 35. Michigan trying to get off the field here. Howard under pressure. Screen pass. First down and more for the Buckeyes. What a run. What a play. First down. Henderson, the single setback. Play fake. Howard sets up. Looks. Goes through his progression. Sideline throw incomplete. Howard sprinting out of the pocket. Looks backside. Throws a screen. Smith turns it up and he'll just cross the line. Howard. Over the middle. Incomplete from his own 47-yard line. Tyler Morris, the deep man, inside the 10. This one just popped in the air. Morris lets it go over his head, and it's down inside the 5. Mullings, their power back, lines up with Warren. They give it to him straight ahead, looking for some running room, and they won't get much. Mullings, the pistol back. Give it to him again. Not much. Warren to throw it. Warren dancing. Warren over the middle. Incomplete. Caleb Downs, the dangerous one, at the 45 rather of Michigan. And it's fair caught in that area. Judkins, the Ole Miss transfer in the backfield. They give it to him running left. Quinshon Judkins, what a run. Judkins, 8 carries, 43 yards. First and 10 at the Michigan 30. Judkins. Will Howard. Off his back foot, near side, caught. Howard with the handoff. Another good run for Ohio State. This time, it's Travion Henderson at the 14. Judkins. Ambush behind the line.
Can't run the zone play.
Third and 7 at the 16. Howard goes through his progressions. Underneath. Oh, almost intercepted. And it is intercepted. Makari Page. Coverage begins Friday at 7 Eastern time on Fox. And they'll run it straight ahead with Mullings right into the hands of Cody Simon. A 3-yard gain for Michigan, but Will Howard, another costly interception deep in Michigan territory.
Yeah, and both of those, you know, the first one gave Michigan a touchdown. That one, you're going in to score. You feel like you've definitely got points in a field goal opportunity, and both were really poor throws from Will Howard.
Second and 7 at the 12. Warren bounces out of the pocket. Incomplete. Samaj Morgan, the target. Ohio State bringing some pressure up the middle.
And this defense is feeling it. Listen, they've got the advantage everywhere. They've got great corners on the outside. Terrific safety play. Their defensive line has played very well. And now it's about getting that pressure on the quarterback. Tight coverage on the outside. Don't let Davis Warren throw an easy pitch and catch on the outside and try to let this rush, this blitz, get to the quarterback.
Third down and 7 at the 12-yard line. Warren under pressure, and he throws an interception. Caleb Downs scooped that one off the ground like Derek Jeter. And Ohio State is in business.
Well, partner, he's wearing the right number for Derek Jeter, ain't he? How about that right off the top of his shoes? This ball thrown severely behind the intended target. And watch Downs as he kind of backs out of this blitz. And now he's just sitting there in zone defense. And look, he goes down that right shin, and he's able to corral that ball in. A finalist for the Thorpe Award as the best defensive back in college football, and you can see why. He's great in the run game. He's terrific against the pass. And Ryan Day has a short field for his offense here right outside of the 15-yard line.
First down and 10 at the Michigan 16 for the Buckeyes. Judkins in the backfield. They'll give it to him. Q. And they grab him as he hits the line of scrimmage. Fans not happy with the play selection.
Yeah, I mean,
no gain. Kenneth Grant defensively for the Wolverines.
Gus, they've got a point. And, you know, the guys at halftime, I've been talking about it all day long. It's a mismatch in the interior with this O-line against Michigan's defensive line, and running it straight ahead at them has not been working. Now, you can trap and try to gap scheme them in the run game, but their advantage is outside. You've got to get the ball on the perimeter to some of these wide receivers.
Second down and 10 at the 16. Howard sprinting out of the pocket, looks backside, has his receiver, but nothing. G. Scott, the tight end, crosses the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. Hall with the tackle for the Wolverines.
And Michigan is so sound in terms of their discipline. They're trying to run this little throwback to the tight end who's going to go back to the left side of the formation. We'll see the discipline of that defense. They are ready for it.
Third down and 10 at the 16. Howard, delayed handoff. Henderson, and he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Wow. Mason Graham.
That is a really poor sequence from Ohio State, and thank you very much, Mason Graham. How about Mason Graham? This is why he's one of the best in America. Look at him just swim by the guard, Thagala, and he's in the backfield. He's so quick and so powerful. A run, a throwback to the tight end, and a delay after that field position? Holy cow.
Jaden Fielding, who missed his last field goal attempt from 38 yards. This one from 34 yards away. And he hooked it. No good. Wow. Both of these teams, self-inflicted wounds. There have been some self-inflicted wounds for both teams in this game.
Yeah, both quarterbacks a couple of picks here in this second half, and both offenses just cannot get anything going against these terrific defenses.
First down at the 20. Warren sprints out. On the move, incomplete. Second down and 10 of the 20. The handoff, Mullings will push the pile forward, get close to the 25, a gain of 4.
And because of that, I think if you're Ohio State and Jim Knowles, what you don't want to do is create a big play for Michigan. So I don't think that there's any reason for them to run a risky defense from a blitz perspective and leave somebody wide open, or the ability for Michigan to go the distance. So you keep safeties back and you force this offense, which has struggled, to earn their way down the field. And there you see safety deep in the middle of the field.
Michigan, no first downs in their last 6 drives. 3rd and 6. Warren underneath, caught, and a first down. Michigan finally getting something going, and that's Klein with the reception. Remember, no Colston Loveland today for the Wolverines. One of the best players in America.
Well, not only that, but he's really their whole passing game. Remember, I told you earlier, he's got 50 more targets than any other offensive skill position player for the Michigan Wolverines. Their offense runs through Colston Loveland, and they're his backup. Marlon Klein is able to get a big catch for a first down.
Alex Orji comes in at quarterback now for Michigan from the 31. He runs it straight ahead. Orji with a big run in the first half.
Alex Orji on the carry.
Russ, it was the first play of the fourth quarter a year ago when they threw a halfback pass, Michigan did. And with the way the offense has looked, there is some sort of trick play or specialty play coming at some point here in this next few snaps or the next few series of downs.
Donovan Edwards, great with that trick pass, but he's not in the game right now because of injury. 2nd down and 8 at the 33. Mullings, the running back. They give it to him, bounces it outside. Mullings lowers his shoulder and pushes the pile forward. Sonny Styles there to stand him up. And he'll gain about 2.
And the question for Michigan becomes, who do you target on 3rd down? Ryan Day knows it on the opposite side. Who's the target? Hogan Hansen, the true freshman. They say they love him, number 80. He's going to be the tight end to the top of your screen.
3rd and 6 at the 35-yard line. Warren, near side throw, caught, 1st down. Nicely done, and that's Klein.
Boy, and cushion there from Ohio State. I believe that was Lathan Ransom out in coverage, the tight end against the safety. And look at all that space on a 3rd and 6, allows him to just get to the line to gain and turn around. And Warren was quick with that ball, and he's able to just turn and get that 1st down.
Warren on the day, 8 of 14, 44 yards with an interception. 1st down at the 41. Mullings. What they say about Big Ten football in the old days? 4 yards in a cloud of dust. That's what we're seeing today, folks.
That is absolutely the case. And Mullings has been a bit of a workhorse here. And it's just been physical, tough sledding for Mullings. 19 carries, 57 yards, only 3 a pop.
But remember, folks, Michigan has a dynamite field goal kicker if they can get close.
And they're with the wind going this direction here in the fourth quarter.
2nd and 9 at the 42. Orji back in the game, quarterback. He'll run it. And Orji, a half yard, maybe. With Benosi defensively. Clock keeps winding down. This favors the Wolverines. Third down, 8 yards to go at the 43. Can Davis Warren, the quarterback for Michigan, make a play when they need it? Warren rolls out. Warren throws on the move. And as a catch, Peyton O'Leary. A 18-yard gain. Davis Warren makes the throw.
Oh, how about this from the former walk-on? You talk about a guy who has faced adversity in his life.
Whoa, what a catch.
Staring it in the face. And how about that catch from O'Leary? He keeps it off the turf. And it looked like he kept himself in bounds as he secured that ball for a 1st down.
1st down at the 39. Here's a handoff. Mullings tries to stretch it. Ohio State won't have it. No gain. Ransom comes up and makes a stop.
Safeties are just so active in the run game and making it so difficult on Michigan to try to sustain anything on the ground. And it's coming down to these, it's like every set of downs, it's 3rd and 6, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 6. So these safeties doing their job in that run defense early.
2nd down and 10. 11 minutes to play. 10 up. Warren, the throw. Steps up. He'll run it with great room. Davis Warren, what a play. That's a huge one. A gain of 11. And they're in field goal range for Zapata.
You're going to get a crossing route right here, and I'm going to watch this linebacker. I believe that's Sonny Styles, and he vacates the zone. So what does that allow? Davis Warren to just rise up in the pocket and take off. He saw that green grass. Great look from the ump cam right there, and he's able to get the line to gain. It's a first down for Michigan. Gus inside the 30, now definitely inside field goal range for Zvada.
Davis Warren, a cancer survivor. He underwent chemo and spent most of the summer of 2019 in the hospital. First down at the 28. Here's the reverse, and they throw it! Incomplete, but a flag. Denzel Burke will be called for the flag. Bell throwing the football.
Passer defense, number 10. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
That's Ohio State's first penalty of the game.
Well, and here comes Bell. They're going to flip it to him right there from Alex Orji. And Bell was a high school quarterback. He actually set a completion percentage record for his high school. Ronnie Bell's brother in Kansas City, Missouri. And he throws that one just short. Burke interferes, and it's another first down.
Partner, you said it was coming. You said some kind of trick play was coming. First down and 10 of the 13 for the Wolverines. Can they pay it off? Mullings dragging defenders. Gains 4. Caleb Downs with the tackle. Now Michigan in no hurry.
You know, Gus, they might need another one. Because remember, we've already talked about how stout this Ohio State defense is inside of their own red zone. They are the best defense in America in these situations. Michigan might need something creative again to try to get this ball into the end zone.
DeSharon Moore have another trick up his sleeve. 13th play of the drive. Mullings with room. And Kalel Mullings. Stopped by Jack Sawyer, gains 5 yards. Third down and 1 at the 4-yard line.
Boy, this offensive line has come to life here late. Boy, this is very similar to 3 years ago in 2021 when in the fourth quarter that Michigan offensive line started owning the line of scrimmage, running the football, got a late score and put the game away. And here, Michigan trying to do it again.
Third down and 1 at the 4. Mullings dives forward. I don't think he got it. Michigan says he does. Have it. First down and goal at the 3. Power formation. Warren looking. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Unbelievable. Wow, Jack Sawyer. The hero. Captain Jack.
Welcome back. The Ohio kid makes the play of his life. They're trying to hit Hogan Hansen on this throwback, and watch Jack Sawyer dip out from his in spot. He can't get to the quarterback. He falls back into the route. That play is there for Davis Warren if he puts a little air on it, and it's a pick.
They run it. Henderson, Ohio State with some new juice. Jack Sawyer, his first career interception. Wow.
And another goal line stand for Ohio State. Gus, think about it. They held Oregon to a field goal, gave their offense a chance. Nebraska, fourth down, they stopped them. Penn State, fourth down, they stopped them. And here in the fourth quarter against Michigan, they turn them away.
Second down and 5 at the 17. Howard, can he lead him down the field? Howard drops it off, and that ball dropped by Carnell Tate. A rare drop by this young man.
Well, you got to find a matchup now, and you're right. Tate normally very sure-handed. That ball just never got to his hands, and there's Jack Sawyer, that first interception of his career. Couldn't have a bigger one. He'll remember that one the rest of his life, there's no doubt, but you got to pay it off. This offense, which has been stagnant, Gus, over the last couple of series, they need to get something going.
3rd down and 5 at the 17. 7:09 to go in the 4th. Howard with protection. Howard dancing around, steps it up. On the move, lowers his shoulder and just crashes forward. Gains 4 yards. Kenneth Grant with the tackle. And the Buckeyes will have to punt it away.
Credit this coverage in the back end. I tell you what, because the protection is there initially. Great block by Travion Henderson right there initially against Barham, and then Howard's got to move. He tries to run for it, but just can't get that line to gain, and they'll have to punt it away. And against the wind, likely this is going to be a pretty short punt here for Ohio State. Michigan's likely to get this ball on their 40, 45-yard line.
Joe McGuire needs his best punt of the game. He stands at his own 7. Gets it away. Picked up at the 38 and out of bounds at the 40.
Now it's 1st down for the Wolverines.
1st down and 10 at the 40-yard line. Here's a handoff to Mullings, and he'll pick up some nice yardage. Cody Simon with the tackle. Where do they need to get into field goal range for Zavada?
I think that the outskirts, they would need to get to about the 38-yard line. So at this point, they would need, call it 15, 17 more yards going right to left. The wind is going right to left. You could probably stretch Zavada's range to 56, 57 to feel good about it. But again, you're looking at about 17, 18 yards from this point.
His career best 56 yards against Northwestern last week. Another run and a 1st down for the Wolverines. They're about 10 yards away from being in range for Dominic Zavada. Mullings. And Mullings will lose 3.5, maybe 4 on the play. Latham Ransom. There's Zavada. Cool, calm, keeping warm on the sideline. He's 16 for 17 on the season. 2nd and 12 from midfield. Bredesen in motion. They'll give it to Mullings. And Mullings dives forward. Picks up 6. So a big 3rd down coming up right now.
It's a massive 3rd down. Here's the thing is, if they don't pick it up but get close, they would be on the edge of field goal range.
But he does have the wind at his back.
He does. But Sharon Moore has always been aggressive. So you wonder if it's somewhere in the 4th and 1, 4th and 2, would Sharon Moore go for it, try to stay on the field, gain a few more yards for his kicker.
Michigan, 6 of 12 on 3rd down conversions in this game. 3rd and 6. Warren can't turn it over. They'll hand it off. And look at the 2nd effort. Mullings down the sideline, out of bounds at the Ohio State 15. A 27-yard run.
He's going to get around the right side. And I tell you what, Michigan's going to get fortunate right here. That's Evan Link with a grab on Jack Sawyer, but Mullings, what a great break, and the strength that he has to get away from the tacklers, run through arm tackles, and now he's down the sideline, now very much in field goal range, and they can play the clock game now. Zavada is very reliable as a kicker, and they can start to try to bleed this clock out, and Ohio State and Ryan Day are going to have to start thinking about those 3 timeouts.
1st down at the Ohio State 17. Jordan Marshall. Michigan. 2nd down and 7 at the Ohio State 14. Here's another run with Mullings. Remaining in this game. Mullings.
Oh, this is a huge mistake. Gus, Ohio State's going to have to double up on timeouts and waste one. They were misaligned did not have the right personnel on, and it looked like Ryan Day had to take a timeout there. That is giant. Look at him. He can tell. He's like, do we need a timeout? They did not have the right personnel on the field. They were confused on the field, and he had to burn a timeout. And I don't think you can even do that. You can't take consecutive timeouts.
Illegal substitution, 12 on defense, 5-yard penalty, will remain 3rd down.
So that ball will inch closer to
It's
the Ohio State
down.
goal line.
That was a wrong announcement here. So he tried to save it with a timeout. He had just taken one. You can't take back-to-back timeouts, so they deal with the penalty with the 12 men on the field, the illegal substitution. That gives them a free 1st down. Wow. Does Ohio State think about just letting them score here?
1st down and goal. Mullings, the deep man. Bredesen in motion. Mullings knocked backwards before he gets to the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 2nd and goal. The fullback. Mullings. It'll lean forward and get inside the Ohio State 5, gains 2. Buckeyes
in the ensuing possession that you would inevitably face here coming up.
3rd down and goal at the 4. Mullings. They give it to him. And Mullings will get to the 3. Nothing guaranteed with these weather conditions today. We've seen Jaden Fielding miss a field goal on this end.
Michigan, their first charge, with 30 seconds in length.
Good snap, clean hole, got it up, and good. And Michigan takes a 13-10 lead with 45 seconds to go.
This is going to be an incredible moment here in this series history.
They send it deep. From their own 25. Howard looking, steps up in the pocket. Sideline throw, high and incomplete. Intended for G. Scott. 40 seconds to go.
And this pass rush for Michigan is going to have to show up. This is when Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham and Josiah Stewart and Derek Moore, they've got to be the best players on the field. They've got to present pressure on Will Howard so that he cannot pick apart that secondary from the pocket.
2nd and 10 at the 25. Howard under pressure, drops it off sideline. Henderson, and he'll go out of bounds. Picks up a few. Actually, they say only 1. And Ohio State faced with a 3rd and 9 now. 35 seconds remaining in the game.
And with no timeouts, you just can't throw this ball short of the sticks here. You can't complete it short of 10 yards. So the middle of the field, right over the ball, is a no-go for Will Howard.
3rd and 9 to the 26. Here's Howard under pressure. And a timeout call by the Wolverines prior to the throw. 3rd down and 9 at the 26. No timeouts for the Buckeyes. Howard, big play here. Howard in trouble. Rolls, throws. Out of bounds, incomplete. And that brings up 4th down and 9.
He wanted to throw it to Travion Henderson right over the ball, but he can't. There's no timeouts. It's a check down right in front of him. But if he completes it to Henderson, the game likely was going to be almost over. So he actually alertly doesn't throw that ball, throws it away. But here's the game. 4th down. Howard has got to make a throw here.
Trips at the top of your screen. 4th down and 9. Do or die for Ohio State. Howard in trouble. Incomplete. Ohio State turns it over on downs. And the Michigan Wolverines will shock the college football world. Sharon Moore says we didn't cheat this time.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 1 of the defense for simulating shooting a gun. This is his first that leads towards disqualification. 15-yard penalty, first down, Michigan.
Unbelievable. 23.5-point underdogs. The Michigan Wolverines come into Columbus. And barring an Ohio State miracle, they will defeat the Buckeyes for the 4th consecutive time.
What a performance from this defense. I tell you what, holding Ohio State to 10 points. And granted, I come back to some of those series where they did not attack on the perimeter. They did not use those players on the outside. But even late, when you knew they had to throw it and everything was spread out, they didn't have time to throw it on the outside. They were double covering Jeremiah Smith. No points in the second half for Ohio State. A 10-10 game turns into a 13-10 loss.
Michigan will defeat Ohio State for the 4th consecutive time and denies the Buckeyes a Big Ten title game shot. Kalel Mullings, 116 yards rushing and a touchdown. Zavada, 2 field goals, including the game-winning 21-yarder. And the Wolverines win it 13-10. Shock and awe. Tears of joy. The agony of defeat. And downstairs with a jubilant, victorious Coach Moore is our Jenny Tabb.
Gus, thank you. Coach, you have a sign in your office. First thing you see every day. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to beat Ohio State? And you did it today. How did you do it, Coach?
These guys, man. Guys like Mason Graham, guys like Kenneth Grant, Josiah Stewart, Derek Moore, the offensive line. I mean, you talk about a gritty performance by a bunch of guys. I mean, I love these dudes. These guys are the heart of our program. This is why you come to Michigan. Right here, guys like this. Win this game. 3-0. Let's go, baby. Love you.